Russian man like inside the dark, call me Bill Snatcher. Just the brother for the rapture. I hang glide, holding on strong, hard to capture. Extravagant, resurrect the track and it's militant. And I react like a convict and start killing. It's manifesting. The God's work like appliances, dealing in my sleep like a lie.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explain here, bringing you guys another major update for Boruto Chapter 66. So obviously, if you do not want to be spoiled about what's going on in the Boruto manga chapter, click off of the video, because from this point onward, I'm assuming that you don't care about spoilers. So you've been warned, so let's get right into it. So yo, we have scans that have leaked out from the upcoming Boruto manga chapter, and before we only had the summary of parts of the chapter. Now we have actual scans to go along with the summary, and these scans come courtesy of Abdul over on Twitter, and I have to say, this chapter is going to be far more emotional than any of us potentially even thought. So it's already a big enough shock that we've seen Boruto bite the bullet. Kawaki put a hole in this man's chest the same way that Kakashi put a hole in Rin's chest. However, actually having the images there and you see Boruto with a gaping hole in his chest, you see Boruto completely motionless, and you see Naruto with this shocked expression on his face. That's probably the most telling thing right there, is that we don't see Naruto crying or anything like that. We see Naruto's shock. And I think that that is a very human reaction out of Naruto right here, because he's in a situation where he can't believe what he's seen so far. And then that's when you likely see the fallout of this scene. I think that this makes sense. As somebody that has lost somebody that I care about, I know what that shit's like when you're sitting there and you can't believe what just happened. It takes you a second to process it, especially when that happens right in front of you. So I thought Naruto's reaction right here, I thought that that was beautiful. I thought that just the way that you see Boruto's dead body on the top, and then you get the full reveal on the bottom, very nice artwork right there. I do like what we see in that scene. Now, the other part of it too is that we see just the full scope of this whole scene, how you have Boruto, Kawaki's reaching out, and then his whole body transforms into that ninja tool, and he doesn't just stab him with one ninja tool projection. He stabs him with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 whole projections right through his stomach. And what I like about that is that you see the droplets of blood all over that. That is a very nice touch, man. This has potential. And I also like that we get this shot where you have Boruto and he's put his hand on Naruto's stomach and he's blown Naruto away. And it's because Naruto attempted to try and save Boruto, and that lines up what we saw earlier where Kawaki was going for the kill when he was fighting against Boruto. He's shooting out all these projections, and we see as his dojutsu is evolving in real time, how he's continuing to just get those little triangles on the side of his eye, and Kawaki shoots out that huge cube that Ishiki had access to, the cube that would have killed Boruto, but Naruto steps in at the last second to save it. And I've seen some people confused as to why Kawaki's eye is changing. So I started to talk about this in the video I did last month, where I said that I believe that Kawaki was going to get access to Ishiki's dojutsu abilities and eventually get the whole dojutsu itself. And part of the reasoning for that is if you look at Jigen's eyes, Jigen, somebody that was an imperfect vessel, Jigen in each shot with his eyes, Jigen had in the corner of his eyes that small triangle that was right there, and it was always consistent in the manga. It was always consistent in the anime. If you go back to Naruto and Sasuke versus Jigen in the manga, you see that small slither in the corner of Jigen's eyes every time he's shown fighting. And if you go a step further, when he's powering up, when he grabs Kawaki's wrist inside of Naruto's home, he actually has 2 of those triangles on both sides of his eye. That wasn't something done by mistake, especially when you consider that Ikimoto was a design specialist to Kishimoto as well as a background specialist. Small aesthetic details like that that go with the character design, that's something right up Ikimoto's alley. So that wasn't a mistake, especially when it's that consistent, when that's literally one of the man's calling cards. And if you draw the spokes of the Dharma wheel, everything lines up. And that's what we've seen here with Kawaki. Kawaki's eyes, as he's continuing to unlock more and more Ishiki's power, the only thing that he's missing are the spokes of the Dharma wheel. So I did like seeing that small artistic choice right there, and I do believe that at some point we are going to see him fully manifest the Dharma wheel inside of his eyes. Similar to how a Sharingan has different stages to it, I really think that this dojutsu has different stages to it as well. I've always felt like this, and I'm glad that's being shown now. I do like how we also get a panel where we see, as Naruto's watching everything, Boruto and Kawaki basically remake the whole Final Valley scene where you have Boruto doing the Rasengan like Naruto, you have Kawaki's in that transformed state. Kawaki can't use the Chidori, but he's just going straight forward with the ninja tech. And the symbolism in this scene right here is not only just an homage to Naruto and Sasuke in part 1, but it's also a representation of what's getting ready to happen. Boruto's story is about the clash between science and ninjutsu. Can the two coexist? We're seeing them come head to head right here. Kawaki's using a ninja tech arm to counter Boruto's Rasengan, which is an advanced form of changing chakra shape. So I thought that that was so freaking awesome right there. And again, the way that this art has been done for these scenes, I'm very excited to see the fallout from this, man. Like, on a scale from 1 to 10, after seeing the leaks from this chapter, I got to read the chapter in order, but after seeing a few pages from the chapter, I'm very excited to see where Ikimoto is going to take the art next, because in order for this scene to really hit home, it's the follow-up that takes place after this. I really feel like if he has some super expressive art in the next chapter after Naruto's moved out of that shock phase, this whole sequence right here might mess around and be one of the best series of chapters that we've had in the series so far. This is good. This is really good. Big shouts out to Abdul for posting these on his secondary account. Now, normally I do not under any circumstances show any of the leak images, and I don't do that for a reason, but this is so big that I couldn't really sit on this because there's a lot of excitement surrounding this chapter, so I compromised on this. But that's why every time you guys see me, I talk about leaks when we get the chapter leaks and everything. I don't really put any images, if any images from the leaks, in my videos. That's just a personal choice that I make because I understand how Japan operates. But I personally don't share any of the images on social media and etc. because I understand how harmful that can be to a manga series. Now for this, I'm only showing a little bit, and everything I'm doing falls within the criteria of fair use because this is something that I'm using in a transformative way. I'm using it to make a critique while I'm reporting on what we're seeing. This will fall under educational purposes. So that's the only reason why you'll see myself and a few other people who cover other series. They might show the images and everything, but they don't show all the images. I know for me personally, I've got about 20 images that have been sent to me. I didn't show you all 20. I might have showed you 5 or 6. It's the same thing with the manga chapter. I don't show you the entire manga chapter when I review the chapter. I show you some of the key scenes, and I try and get stuff that, as I'm talking about, is similar to it. So like if I'm talking about Kawaki, if I've shown to me panels in the review, I'll just show you a clip of Kawaki as I'm talking about him. Because showing the entire chapter as you're doing a review, that's not something that falls under the scope of fair use. That's where like a lot of people on this platform mess up. But that's a whole nother conversation for another day. Because you still have situations where people are 100% in compliance with fair use, like totally not Mark, and they end up getting a sledgehammer dropped on them. So it's a tricky road, but that's why I operate the way that I do. I show very limited clips from the episode when I do episode reviews, and I only show a limited number of manga panels when I discuss the actual manga chapter. So what I want to know from you guys is, which of these panels stood out to you the most, and how do you feel about Kawaki's eye evolving as he's using more and more of Ishiki's power? And on a scale from 1 to 10, how broken is Kawaki about to be when he gets full mastery of Ishiki's powers? And what do you think about Boruto dying in this way and Naruto's reaction? Should Naruto have been shown crying right away? Or was this the right choice to have Naruto pause and struggle to process what's going on first? Let me know down in the comment section below. But as always, guys, like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching to the end. Have an awesome day, guys.